Good evening, everybody, and welcome to MaxNyan Advisory Private Limited. So, MaxNyan Sports Gurukul, Unseen Sports Personality. This will be the 78th episode of Unseen Sports Personalities. And MaxNyan Advisory Private Limited is an organization with 35 years of practical experience in the field of sports academic and sports culture. So, we are on the mission of developing sportsmanship mindset amongst youth to create healthy, wealthy globe. Our vision is to be a sports mentor for the Indian Olympics cricket team, create awareness amongst 1 million families, and provide clarity on the various career opportunities in the field of sports, and develop a sportsmanship mindset amongst 10,000 cricketers by the year 2030. So, friends, like the other sports personalities and the eminent speakers that we have brought onto the platform of MaxNyan Advisory till date. Today, we too have an eminent personality amongst us. So, she is a former Indian women cricketer who has represented the Western Railways as well, and then eventually served the BCCI in various capacities, those of a manager, national selector, and now serving the sport as a match referee of BCCI. So one more interesting fact and aspect about her is that she was the personal coach of Rani Mukherjee for the movie Dil Bole Hadippa. So we are really very glad to welcome Anjali Pendharkar madam on this platform. So, ma'am, we are highly obliged to have you here, and we welcome you for the Unseen Sports Personality series of MaxNyan Sports Gurukul.
Hi, I'm happy to be here too.
Thank you. So it's
good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, madam, तुम्ही क्रिकेट चालू केलं त्यावेळेला it was I think in 1986.
No, I started my career in 1977. I represented Bombay for the first time in the national tournament, which was held at Gorakhpur. That was my debut for Mumbai.
Oh, great. So it was 30 years back?
Yes.
Okay. So how was it? तुमचा experience कसा होता तो? And you're passionate about cricket. आणि त्यावेळेला इतका facilities नव्हता. Still you started with that. So how was your experience?
The experience was that basically I had a big passion for cricket. I used to play cricket with the boys on the roads. And after a certain age, my mother started telling me that I'm sorry, you're a little too old now to play with the boys on the roads. But then she wanted to encourage my passion. So she enrolled me into Matunga Gymkhana. And in Matunga Gymkhana, under the coaching of Shri Hemant Hadkar, I started playing. That is how I got into the main circuit. My first time I attended the selections, I was represented to play for Bombay, then for West Zone, then for India. And I've been playing for India since from 80 to 86.
Oh,
wow.
I played for India, and after that I joined the Indian Railways, and I played for Indian Railways also after that.
So
I've
you have
represented
seen
India in the World Cup.
Wow. So
okay.
You have seen a journey of cricket. We would say that
yes, the journey of
eventually.
cricket and with varied themes. You know, when I started, we were struggling for survival. We had to fight against society. We had to fight against the relatives. Thankfully, my parents were very supportive, and that's how I am what I am today.
Yes. So
Super.
it was just a sheer passion, and you followed your passion.
We followed our passion. The entire group, the whole team, we were playing for passion because there was no money involved. We were not getting paid for what we were playing. We were not even getting paid for the expenses that we were incurring. And
Okay.
it's just because our parents supported us that we could go and play. Because even the tickets that had to be purchased, the kit that had to be purchased, we had to do it from our own pocket. It was just the passion of the game and nothing but passion.
Great.
Superb. So you represented in the World Cup as well, you said.
That's right. I played the World Cup in New Zealand in 1981.
That's nice.
1981.
Superb.
Okay.
So, wow. So that's something which the women's have come a long way. We should say that it's an evolution of women's cricket in India, I would say.
Yes, the evolution started a little earlier, but I would say that the development has taken place all through these days.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
then eventually you kept on taking up new roles. So then you worked with, you served the Western Railways also, you played for Western Railways. And then eventually you took up roles in BCCI. So how has been that experience and exposure in different capacities, rather like as a
Actually,
manager?
after I stopped playing, I took a break of 10 years for my family.
Okay.
I got married, I had children, and so for catering to their needs, I took a gap from cricket. And after I came back, the things had changed a bit. I was no longer a player, I had gone into the official capacity. Also, railways had come into the picture, and railways were supporting their teams. So that too helped a lot.
Oh.
And so I came into a new capacity. I tried to work into my new capacity, and I could do a little bit of the work that I could do.
definitely. So because of all of your efforts, हे जो WPL आता जे झालं त्याच्यामुळे खूप मोठा इम्पॅक्ट आला. कारण तुम्ही जे आतापर्यंत एवढे परिश्रम घेतले आणि जे पॅशन तुम्ही फॉलोअर केली म्हणून मुंबईमध्ये किंवा ओव्हरऑल भारतामध्ये वुमन्स क्रिकेटमध्ये जे एव्होल्युशन झालेलं आहे ते इट्स ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ युअर एफर्ट्स. सो हाऊ वॉज दॅट जर्नी? तुम्ही त्याच्यामध्ये काय काय एफर्ट्स घेतले?
Actually, basically, MCA नी जेव्हा टेक ओव्हर केलं, जेव्हा BCCI नी टेक ओव्हर केलं विमेन्स क्रिकेट, तर तेव्हा त्यांच्याही लक्षात आलेलं आहे दॅट द गेम नीड्स अ बिग पुश. जशी मुलं खेळतात तशा मुली खेळत नाहीत. तर MCA नी वानखेडे स्टेडियम वरती दे इन्व्हायटेड अ लॉट ऑफ स्कूल्स, गर्ल्स स्कूल्स, त्यांचे प्रिन्सिपल्स आणि स्पोर्ट्स टीचर्सने त्यांचं एक मीटिंग घेतली आणि तिकडे त्यांच्यावरती त्यांना एक लेक्चर दिलं की वाय द गर्ल्स शुड बी एनकरेज टू प्ले. आणि त्यांनी सांगितलं दॅट मुंबई क्रिकेट असोसिएशन विल बी डिस्ट्रीब्युटिंग फ्री किट्स टू द गर्ल्स, अँड द ओनली थिंग दॅट द स्कूल्स हॅव टू डू इज टू गिव्ह दीज किट्स टू द गर्ल्स टू प्ले ॲज अँड वेन अँड वेर एव्हर दे हॅव द प्लेस. काही शाळांना ग्राउंड्स असतात, काही शाळांना ग्राउंड्स नसतात. तर जरी ग्राउंड नसलं तुमच्याकडे तरी जिकडे पॉसिबल आहे तिकडे तुम्ही मुलींना खेळा आणि आम्ही तुम्हाला फ्री किट्स देऊ, म्हणजे रबर बॉल, टेनिस बॉल, बॅट्स आणि प्लास्टिकचे स्टम्प्स. द ओनली थिंग वॉज त्यांनी आधी अपॉइंटमेंट घ्यायची MCA कडे आणि यायचं आणि किट कलेक्ट करून घेऊन जायचं. वी हॅड इन्व्हायटेड 120 schools टू कम. त्याच्यापैकी 80 schools turned up and took the kits.
ओके.
आणि त्याच्यानंतर वर्षभरानंतर we introduced an inter-school tournament, and out of these 80 schools, about 32 schools have participated in the inter-school tournament, and that is how the big numbers of women's cricket started coming into Mumbai.
Oh.
आणि मग विमेन्स क्रिकेट शाळांमध्ये व्हायला लागलं, इंटर कॉलेजिएट व्हायला लागलं आणि जसं जसं BCCI नी सपोर्ट करत राहिले ते विमेन्स क्रिकेटला, तसं तसं more and more people are getting attracted to the game. आणि त्या WPL मध्ये आपण जे बघितलेलं आहे दॅट इज ओनली द टिप ऑफ द पिरामिड. बेसिकली बेस आपल्याला वाढवायला पाहिजे. आता सुद्धा मुंबई क्रिकेट असोसिएशनने इंटर क्लब टुर्नामेंट घेतलेली आहे आणि त्या इंटर क्लब टुर्नामेंटसाठी किती जवळजवळ मला वाटतं 50 क्लब्स पार्टिसिपेट केले, म्हणजे तेवढं आपल्याकडे मुली खेळणाऱ्या आहेत.
So this has been a long journey, we would say.
It is a long journey, and I would say ki professionalism la this is the first step that has been taken. आतापर्यंत people were playing as amateurs. There was no professionalism in the game, पण आता professionals व्हायला लागलेले आहेत.
Nice. Very nice.
आणि BCCI ने पण एक मेजर स्टेप्स घेतलाय की they have equally, they are paying now equally.
Yeah, the payment is equal, but only at the highest level. Only the Indian team is getting paid equally. Domestic cricket is yet to catch up.
Yes, but still this is again a good step, we can say. But
Absolutely, it's a fantastic step, I would say, and hats off to them for taking the step. And the
Yes,
thing was
definitely.
ki a lot because of the social culture in India. The parents are not very happy with the girls going out and playing. पण जर का मुलींकडून इन्कम घरामध्ये यायला लागला
Yes.
तर इट इज व्हेरी मच पॉसिबल दॅट द पेरेंट्स विल सपोर्ट देअर गर्ल. ओके ठीक आहे, तुला खेळायचं आहे तर तू खेळ. द इन्कम इज कमिंग इन टू द हाऊस.
Very
Oh.
true.
Very true, very true. And one more thing is like, after playing, you said I was connected as an official. So तुम्ही referee म्हणून जे आलात, तर ते पण एक पहिलं एक डिफरंट असं फील्ड म्हणू शकतो, कारण का परत इथे फार महिला तर नव्हत्याच कधी. पण how was
नाही, महिला तर
experience?
अजिबात नव्हत्या त्यावेळेस. असं होतं की द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द असोसिएशन हॅड टू रेकमेंड द नेम्स, आणि त्यांनी क्रायटेरियन ठेवलेला होता की ओनली द इंडिया प्लेयर्स विल बी परमिटेड टू वर्क एज मॅच रेफरीज. तर
Okay.
त्यामुळे फर्स्ट लॉट मध्ये आम्ही 5-6 जणीच होतो आणि वी वर फंक्शनिंग एज मॅच रेफरी. त्याच्यानंतर बीसीसीआयनी डिसिजन घेतला दॅट मेल और फिमेल ऑल द मॅच रेफरीज हॅव टू अंडरगो अन एक्झाम. म्हणून त्यांनी ऑस्ट्रेलियन अंपायर सायमन टॉफेलला बोलवलं आणि सायमन टॉफेलनी परीक्षा घेतली. तर त्या परीक्षेमध्ये ज्या पास झाल्या तर ऑल दोज वर इंडक्टेड इन टू द पॅनल. देर वर अ लॉट ऑफ मेल्स ऑल्सो, देर वर अ लॉट ऑफ फिमेल्स ऑल्सो. आणि तेव्हापासून आतापर्यंत इफ यू हॅव टू बिकम अ मॅच रेफरी, बीसीसीआय कंडक्टेड एक्झाम्स असतात. यू हॅव टू क्लिअर दोज एक्झाम्स इफ यू हॅव टू परफॉर्म.
Yeah. So this is some different domain that we can
Career
say,
domain.
career
आधी
domain
मॅच
we can
रेफरीचा
say.
कन्सेप्टच नव्हता. बिकॉज वी यूज्ड टू प्ले द क्रिकेट, तेव्हा बेसिक मॅचच व्हायला इट वॉज सो डिफिकल्ट. द मॅच रेफरी नोबडी कुड अफोर्ड टू हॅव दॅट.
But then in that case, as a match referee, today you would have the leverage to be a match referee for the men's cricket as well, right?
I've done men's teams. BCCI
Right.
is kind enough to give us the boys' versions of the cricket.
Correct. So that's an opening itself as a career opportunity for many.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
आणि आता एकेकाळी यू हॅड टू हॅव रिप्रेझेंटेड इंडिया टू बी अ मॅच रेफरी. पण आता काय झालेलं आहे, त्यांनी परीक्षा ठेवलेली आहे. यू क्लिअर द एक्झाम अँड यू आर अलाउड टू परफॉर्म एज मॅच रेफरी. त्यामुळे परीक्षा कुणीही पास करू शकतं. आणि जर तुम्ही परीक्षा, यू डोंट हॅव टू बी अ प्लेयर युअर सेल्फ.
Right.
So what is your opinion?
वर्क एज मॅच रेफरी.
So madam, what is your opinion? We should have some background, cricket background, or if
इट
somebody is
डेफिनेटली
passing
हेल्प.
exam?
कारण परीक्षा पास करायला जर का तुम्हाला स्वतःला प्रॅक्टिकल बॅकग्राऊंड असेल तर इट
Yes,
डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू इन पासिंग द एक्झाम.
definitely.
True.
Passing and working also, because if you have that passion, you have that experience of playing, definitely you can add some
Absolutely.
more point in that.
ते पण आता कितीतरी अंपायर्स आहेत, लेडी अंपायर्स, मेल अंपायर्स.
No. If you have that playing background, no, you can add more things in your working style or something. If it's like practical experience, then he cannot add more, because this is again a passion. It is again a patience game also.
Yes.
And sitting there, because there's a lot of background there.
Yeah, the practical experience definitely helps you to work, but it is not mandatory. Ata we
Yeah.
are having a lot of umpires who are males, females. They have not played the games themselves, but just for the passion of the game, they have passed the umpiring exams and they're doing really well. So it's not mandatory that you have to be a player to be an umpire or a match referee.
Definitely.
Right.
Again, we can say in a different domain, open for all.
It is open for all.
So as a manager, you have served as a manager of BCCI also.
That's right.
So when you were a manager, what kind of experiences or any special instances when you took a team to places? If you can share some few instances or experiences of those times.
Yes. This is pre-BCCI. The WCI times I will share an experience with you. I was the manager of the team that went to Australia and New Zealand for test matches and one-day internationals. And we went to Australia. We finished off the tournament over there. We went to New Zealand. We finished off the tournament over there. And on our return, we went to Auckland Airport, Christchurch Airport, tried to check in. And the person at the check-in counter says, "Sorry, you cannot go." We said, "Why? Why can't we go?" So they said that you are not having a multiple entry visa into Australia. Your travel plans show that you're going from Christchurch to Sydney and Sydney to India. and you're not allowed to go to Sydney because you don't have an visa. Because the original visa that the travel agent had organized for us was single entry visa.
Oh,
He had not taken into consideration that on the return in transit we will be in Sydney. But I told we had to go from Christchurch to Auckland and Auckland to Sydney.
oh,
So I said, at least we can go to Auckland. So the first leg of the journey, we can go further. He said, yes, you can go to Auckland. So we went to Auckland. And in the meantime, when all the checking was happening, I picked up the phone and I spoke to the Indian High Commissioner in Sydney.
oh,
And I told him, sir, this is the problem that we are having. We do not have a transit visa for Sydney and we are all booked to go home. He says, okay, you travel to Auckland. That was a 2-hour flight from Christchurch to Auckland, and I will see what can be done. And so by the time we reached Auckland, the airline had organized for one person to be over there. They took us to a small enclosure. They said the Indian High Commissioner has requested that you remain in this enclosure. At the time of your flight, I will come to escort you. And then at the time of the flight, they took us onto the flight and we came back to India. So it was
super,
very kind of the Indian High Commissioner to help the Indian team like that.
super.
Great.
And that was really nice. That was really a nice gesture. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know what we would have done because we didn't have the visa. We didn't have the money in our pockets to stay somewhere. What are we going to do?
Absolutely.
So a lot of learnings,
And
different
a lot of
experiences.
presence of mind that a manager needs to
Yes.
have at that point, at that juncture, particularly.
Yeah,
Right.
thankfully he had come for the match at Sydney and he
Hmm.
had told me that if you require anything, please feel free to approach me. And I seized that opportunity.
That's great. Wonderful. So as a selector also you have served a lot many years.
Yeah,
So
I
uh,
completed my term.
as a selector, what was the kind of thought process when you were selecting the teams, or what was that you were actually looking out for as a talent or as a potential in the girls when you used to be a
See, as
selector?
a selector, there are varied roles to play. The selection of the team, it does not include only the selection of the Indian team. That is only the tip of the iceberg. We are, as women selectors, we have to cater to the entire requirement of women's cricket. The Indian team, the domestic teams, the under 19 teams, and also teams that play in the NCA matches. You know, the National Cricket Academy, they have these summer camps, and so it is our duty to even select the girls for the camps. So that is
Okay.
again talent scouting. So that involves a lot of work.
Hmm.
The Indian team is easy. Everybody knows the players. Everybody knows who they are. You just give your opinion and that's it.
Yeah.
But to select players who are under 19, who are under 16, players whom you have never seen, that was a
Yes.
big challenge.
Bro.
And that was ultimately we had to go in more for the talent scouting rather than the performance of the players. So if you feel that this person is
Yes.
capable of doing something, you would rather include that person in the team rather than going on somebody who's just scoring and not having any technique or not having any proper background or something.
Definitely. Is there a tough process also because you need to go with different options also.
It is a tough
So
process and I would say it's a thankless job
Yeah.
because
yeah,
everybody feels usko liya mere ko nahi liya.
yes, yes. So basically, a lot of efforts you need to put as a selector also. And my another question is mindset of girls when they used to play as a player.
And the selector is always portrayed as the villain. They will never say that the selection has been correct. Because
Okay.
somebody or the other is always going to be displeased. Nobody will say that, yeah, हाँ, अच्छा team बनाया. Nobody is going to say that.
Yeah. True.
Team अच्छा बनाया, इसके लिए अच्छा खेला, it's not going to be that. The
Right.
player अच्छा खेला, that is why the performance is up to the mark.
Right.
And if the team doesn't do well, इसको select नहीं किया, उसको select नहीं किया, इसके लिए team हार गया. That is always going to be happening.
So you cannot
But
satisfy
now things
everybody.
have changed. So how is the experience now? Because abhi volume hai, now we have volume also to select.
Yeah, so the job for the current selection committee has become even more tough.
Tough. Absolutely. because the count of women playing now has increased to what they were earlier.
Yeah, and it's very much taxing on the selectors also, because they have to do a lot of traveling. They have to watch everybody play, because unless you really watch somebody, you cannot form an opinion for yourself.
True.
The traveling is a lot.
Yeah.
So what is the experience in Mumbai and apart from Mumbai, other cities of India?
Actually, Mumbai Cricket Association is doing a fantastic job nowadays, because as I told you that they had a club tournament and there was a very good response. Now I think from the 14th of April, normally they start a summer camp, and new girls who want to play, the youngsters, they are having these summer camps all over Mumbai, and so that is how the girls get introduced to the game. And but for the summer camps, we will never get in the feeders, and we have to broaden the base of the pyramid. So the more girls who will play, the more talent there will be scouting, and the more women's cricket is going to flourish.
Great. So, ma'am, with regards to the one is the sports and the second part is the academics. So, how do you see this as a blend or the balance? What are the guidance or what would be your suggestions to the teams when, as a you have been on both the sides, you have been an ex Indian women cricketer as well as a selector, and then on the academics front also you have been excellently well. So, what is the mindset today of the girls when they come to play? So, how focused they are on academics as well as sports?
Now, this is a very difficult decision to make, whether you go into academics or you go into sports. But it is my thinking that if your academics is good, post player, you can make a better career. Because as a player, it is only your talent and the scores that you make that comes into the picture. But afterwards, if you can speak the language well, if you can really get your brain thinking as to what is to be done, that works much more. That academics also has to be given equal importance, because when you are a player, it is only a performance on the field that is taken into the picture. But afterwards, when you want to come in as an administrator, academics plays a major role.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The command that you have over the language. Also, other way, how you interact with society.
Yes.
All that comes into the picture.
Absolutely.
And I would say BCCI has also taken that into consideration, because normally all the under 19 tournaments are conducted in the first half of the season. And most probably they try to free the girls by January or so that they can go back to their exams and do academics for themselves.
Very true. Very true.
Also, it is not possible for everybody to make a career in cricket.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you need your academics as a backup.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, Vaishali,
Yeah. So, this is exactly what we do, ma'am, that when it comes to academics and sports, it is important which sport and why one needs to choose, which we as sports counselors and mentor have been doing for a long period now. Yeah. So as a sports mentor and counselors that we've been doing for a long period now. And what next? So sports has a limitation of age. So till a particular age that you, as you rightly mentioned it, that you play for a particular time frame, and then you need to have yourself groomed equally well to be there in that particular associated with the game for lifetime, or you need to have a what next or a plan B in place where you can actually start having an income, sustainable income generation from that particular area. So that's what MaxNyan has also been doing till date. And just to share that till date we have guided more than 7,000 plus parents and students, and there we have already associated with the different organizations, and this is what our we look at is visionary trustees and decision makers of schools who want to have a sports culture for their schools, where we can definitely guide these schools and guide the management there, how we can make it a better place with the sports culture as well as into academics. And of course, the parents. So our focus is primarily from the molding age itself, where we guide the students and the parents of these students who are in the age group of 3 years onwards. So right from the age of 3 years, 4 years, that we tell which kind of sports that they should go in for, what is the kind of assessment that they need, or what are their core potentials where they should be focusing on. So that's how we've been guiding these people. And so we've been proudly saying this, Khelel Bharat Tarach Vadel Bharat. Today, because of the screen time, increase in the screen time, this has reduced to a larger extent. And hence, there are a lot of different issues that the kids are facing today, and the concerns of the parents as well. So we have this live sessions on YouTube also, just from the perspective that eminent speakers like you, eminent personalities like you, who are from this field of sports, who have an equal balance of the sports as well as the academic careers, can be a great inspiration to these kids and parents, that how they should actually manage out on these areas of, and they need to also have a plan B in place after their sports career, just not limiting it to cricket, but a sports career as a whole. So ma'am, it was really very nice to have you, and we are really glad that I'm obliged that you honored our word and you're here and you shared your insights and experiences about your cricketing career with us and with our audiences here. So, and we are also thankful to our YouTube audience who are watching this video today. And yes, you can definitely share your comments, and do subscribe and like our channel and this video. So thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, madam.